with these kind of set points and stuff like that. And we do have Viral Summoner, Win 71, Dog White, Orchards, and less Isles. So
squads.
Let's see here.
You excited for the weenie server, Kesner?
Shut up.
Shut up, faggot. No one's talking to you.
Wow.
There we go with that.
I'm already like on 200 fucking ping. I can't make this shit up, dude.
Where'd Eagles go?
Well, there's some bad words on stream, so that is not okay, but I don't know who to actually join. I think I'm gonna join Bear Jew. Kick me out of your squad. I don't know who else is supposed to join, and my chat does not work. That is okay. Bear Jew will kick me out. So yes, so we do have Viral Sumer, Win 71, Dog White, and Orchard. So we do have Sumer. You know, it's Legion's, you know, not favorable point, as you know, they have not really won it other than the one time they beat Taco in Summit. So this will be interesting to see of what they kind of do. I think they might be playing with one less player. I'm not entirely sure. Like one SBS. Like they are getting into their tanks and building their nodes and stuff like that. Probably waiting for one tank as well. I'm not sure what this medium is exactly doing. Still building nodes back here. Truck going up. Get those highlights. They are using the Lux. I'm not sure if any other tanks are coming in. Looks like this, actually this mid truck is very, very late. Interesting to see where this 1SBS truck does end up going. As well as that, we'll take a look at the map for the Legion side of things. Pretty basic. Looks like they're not, they have a recon tank in the north and a recon tank in the south, so they did spawn one in the north, so not quite sure what the recon tank in the north is. I think it's just gonna be a solo. Yeah, it's just gonna be Yakko into that solo tank. So I'm not opting for the southern tank, which is weird. They're gonna, I guess, waste fuel on it. I have no idea. But 30 seconds until map drop. Again, apologies for the delay on the stream. Just don't think Legion had the numbers, and they're trying to get some last second fill-in. So, but we are gonna be live in about 15 seconds now, so we should be good to go. And I don't hear any snipes quite yet. Have some rockets coming in. Not look like they are going to hit anything. One SBS actually getting to the hard cap a little bit late, but they are starting to cap it now. Legion getting there kind of a little bit late too. They did get a truck stuck, so they will not unfortunately get to the hard cap with that truck. And already starting to come in, and we're starting to see the first, you know, kills and deaths happen as well. See maybe the first infantry kill, and the tank actually completely rips some people apart. Not sure if he has a flamethrower. I think he does have a flamethrower. He does. Playing his life very, very cautiously. Down goes 2 guys to the flamethrower. And Botas will knock him down. The Legion actually not pushing the hard cap. I think what they're doing is they're trying to get a recap, you know, get some practice in on recapping Sumer. You know, 1SBS is a Division 4 team this past season in TPL, and they did finish, I think, 3rd. If that's a good placement for them, I'm not entirely sure. But, you know, they aren't, I think, a pushover team, as some people may think. I think they are a very, very strong team. And, you know, they competed very, very well in Division 3. So, you know, this isn't a pushover match for Legion. Obviously, Legion are going to be the heavy favorites. And, you know, if you were a betting man, put your money on Legion to win this friendly. But at the end of the game, at the end of the day, it's just a friendly. So Legion are indeed just waiting to get some recap in, get some practice on trying to recap this point, because it is one of their struggle points. But, you know, and that will be a first initial cap towards 1SBS. Just pay attention to the south a little bit. Looks like 1SBS actually going a little bit heavier than Taco did and controlling this radar station. And actually, 1SBS already flagging Win 71. I'm not quite sure who that is from. Probably just one. Probably a tank, honestly, back here. Yeah, it's just a Puma back here. I'm very curious if this Puma can get behind this medium tank. This actually will throw Legion into a bit of a loop, probably very unexpectedly. Are trying to get back here. I think 1SPS is calling it out. This medium tank has no idea. He can't really turn around that well. AT is actually inside the tank. Kills the AT player. And somehow non-pens a Puma, but the AT from Demon will take him out. Honestly, quite an exciting little play there with the AT player. Oh, I've never seen that before, like, ever. That was actually kind of cool. Well, nice little play there from 1SBS. Just didn't work out. Good communication from the Legion SLs telling that tank, hey, there's a Puma gonna come behind you. And then probably a little bit surprised that an AT player was there with them and jumped out. So. Look up here in the north. Dunny, Kilo, JJ, Mr. Bruh. Just kind of holding this north. Nothing crazy happening quite yet. Parzel actually in a very, very, you know, powerful spot right now as MG. Can get a very, very good line of sights. Even though that's not really the correct terminology for it, but he gets good line of sights from where he's at. So let him do what he does best with an MG. But as you can see in the south, Legion's starting to gain that little bit of advantage. Actually kind of overloading the south. We take a look at the map. Really good map control from north to south. Gearson is locked in the red zone. Just one on point SL, and that will be, I think, Shadow. So there's that. But, you know, good control in the south. The Gary does go green, but, you know, very good spread. So Very typical of Legion of what they do and manage things. Like the medium tanks are actually engaging each other. I'm actually quite sure. I think it was just a turret shot from the P4. That's gonna back this Legion medium out a little bit and get a little bit better cover. Non-pen on the turret again. Medium will back up, but this exposes this medium to any ATs that 1SPS can throw at them. Big arty splash. James Canadian gets one and will knock down an OP. As he tries to peek with the Thompson. Try and find that STG of Stinrek, or Stinnerek. Will go inside the house as well. And does get one as well inside the house. On live does get down ZDs. Rosettis. One SPS starting to realize that Legion is starting to take this area and starting to bring that Lux for a little bit more supporting fire. And they are starting to flip the cap a little bit. I think for 1SPS's sake, they're a little bit too thin and thinly spread apart. Actually, you have a Greyhound just kind of diving onto the point. Big rate near the garrison spawn. Will be the Legion push kind of halted for the time being. Look back in the south of just kind of what Legion does have for as far as control. You know, one thing you did see on the Taco match is Taco did bring down an SL in this, you know, E and F line and get behind Legion. I don't know if that 1SPS is going to try to do something similar to that or kind of just fight their way through artillery battery where Viper and company are at. And 1SPS seems to be winning the majority of their gunfights for the time being in the south. But they do have two SLs down here with pretty stacked squads as far as, you know, player numbers. Pretty aggressive spot for this tank to be in. I'm also surprised that 1SPS has not built like any AT guns like anywhere at all. Oh, big arty splash. Guys trying to get that rep station up. Intake ambition just crossing the middle of a field right now. Kinda uncontested. Don't know how he's getting away with it, but he will get shot down by Fred there. Padre does get wild build. Starting to maybe leak in a little bit to the front line, but Legion is starting to recognize it. That STG, such a powerful weapon. Padre with another kill. They've actually kind of broken through the Legion front door a tad bit. Not sure if he did get his OP down or not, so he can get maybe more guys to spawn on it and hopefully kind of wrap around Legion a little bit. But no, they even have they have 2 garrisons in the red zone, so Legion basically full on to garrison. So you know, good map control from them. They're starting to basically make 1SBS kind of wrap up a little bit. Eagles does not see this STG. He misses his shots, and Eagles will make him pay for it. Getting that kill, so unfortunately he will not get away, and maybe Satchel a Garrison. Take one out. Stewart rolling in the point. Not sure where the 1SPS heavy tanks are, or tanks are in general. Cap is starting to flip yet again, and looks like Legion is probably going to try to go for the cap now with 2 tanks as well as infantry to back up. Looks like A-Great will knock down, I think, the on-point garrison of 1SPS. I think that's where they got it. Yeah, I think that's where it was at, roughly, maybe. I have no idea. Now Tito is the only one now on point SL. He's gonna try to probably help build a garrison. Get some guys that get back into the hard cap. I'm just very confused of where these Tiger tanks are at. If they're getting harassed or what. It's not often you see guys repping the tank inside of a point they're trying to cap, but they basically have, you know, total map control, north, south, hard cap. Hard cap's really only tanks, but you kind of get the idea. Will be a cap now for Legion. Make this 3-2 into their favor. One SPS, unfortunately for them, have gotten reset back towards Orchards. Really no OPs on point. Just a few guys in the chapel. Inside the church. Unfortunately, it's just going to be a matter of time before they all get gunned down and Fred, the last one alive for 1SPS. And actually, the Stuart, unfortunately, will probably die to this Tiger. Oh, the Tiger actually get... Oh, yeah, he did have enough height, but we'll kill the Stuart. Almost a little play there from Legion to try to take out that Tiger, but, you know, they finally do have a heavy tank. Not sure if Legion actually has a heavy tank. They do now have one in the south, and they actually have one at the mid HQ as well, so they will have, you know, 2 tanks ready to go. And it looks like one tank actually just blew up. A Tiger actually blew up, I think, from the Legion medium. Actually hitting it into the side and will take it out. A little bit of a misplay there from 1SBS. Trying to reposition their tanks because, you know, they are getting overrun by Legion. 1SBS infantry kind of just letting them down a little bit. But, you know, 1SBS starting to mount something here on the front lines. And down goes that medium tank from this Tiger. But it's kind of a huge trade-off if your starting medium does knock out one of the heavy tanks for the opposition. You goal up doing some zigzags in the middle of the field, trying to avoid some fire, but will get shot down. See up here in the north of what these guys are doing up here. Again, the next point that Legion is trying to attack is orchards, but no, this is obviously not the cap sector, so this is just kind of our perimeter defense for 1SBS. Obviously, you do not want a team like Legion getting behind you very easily, so Padre, Trabi, and company are trying to hold them off, but, you know, they are, you know, slightly outnumbered. Maybe it's a little bit even now, especially after that garrison spawn. Legion are starting to leak into the starting to leak in towards the orchards, I guess, compound area. I don't really know what to call it, but like this Tiger actually did get hit by, I think, the AT on top of the bunker from Tin Loaded Fox. I'm also a little surprised not to see any 1SBS guys building up some rep stations for their tanks, or, you know, having some engineers just to help them out just in case, you know, they do get, you know, hit by like a rocket or an AT gun or a tank shell. But unfortunately for this Tiger, he's kind of all alone. Not sure if Miras has a satchel or not. AT gun's still trying to get some angles onto this Tiger. I think he's going for it now. Fatal with a huge rocket. Not sure if this tank is actually satchel or not. I do not believe it is. Frosty with a fake satchel will knock out the TC. They're just starting to overwhelm 1SBS here on the front door of Sumer. I'm surprised this Tiger tank's not dead yet. Maybe Fatal has rockets now. One in the butt. He'll get a second one. Nope, he's just gonna run behind it and run away, I guess. Just go to the map again. Legion kind of doing the exact same thing from basically top to bottom there, covering the entirety of the map, not letting 1SBS get behind them. Now, this is one thing that is a concern for Legion. If 1SBS wants to, they can probably get an airhead somewhere back here, kind of where this ammo drops are. If they can get an airhead back there, They could potentially get at least one spawn wave off before Legion destroys it. I think that would be something 1SBS might have to do. They can't really sit on the back foot because eventually I feel like they are going to get overwhelmed and overrun. You know, you kind of have to keep Legion on your toes. You have to keep, you know, teams that are, I guess, you know, better than you on your toes. And, you know, doing a play like that, I think, can throw a wrench into their game plan. The Legion just, you know, storming into orchards now. You know, one thing that this also, you know, the way that Legion and these Division 1 teams, you know, play is they make you play wide. Especially Legion, they do make you play wide. You know, you see it kind of on the PC side too, where teams basically use the entirety of the map for the most part. You know, obviously, you know, map and point dependent, but more or less they use the entire map, especially on a midpoint like Sumer. Down goes that heavy tank to, I think, a 76. Yes, it was a 76 that did peek out. We kind of like go up in the north too. You can see, you know, just how much Legion is spreading out throughout the entirety of the map. It's kind of forcing 1SBS to play at Legion's game, which, you know, you kind of don't want to. You kind of want to play at the other team's game if you are obviously the opposite team. Legion is starting cap progress on to orchards. It's actually starting to get halted as well. Legion essentially have everybody in hard cap. You see Gold Up and Tin Loaded Fox. Now Bearju, only one's in hard cap for Legion, and Gold Up gets 3 quick kills. If he can get a 4-piece, gets a 4th, but then gets taken down by Fred. Fred trying to protect his garrison. Bearju's gonna get on it. He will get on it. But he does get taken down. They could get one more garrison spawn wave off before it does go down, but Gopis does have a rocket launcher and will take it out before a spawn wave does get onto it. A little bit too late there from 1SBS. This poor Tin Loaded Fox. But this poor MG just running around with the pistol, seeing what they can do. And I'm not quite sure if that MG actually just got strafed. I don't think that was a Legion strafe. I think that was a 1SBS strafe. But bomb run is coming in from 1SBS. They are taking some players out with that. They might also take out their own. And unfortunately, I think it's only in a net 1 or 2 kills. But again, like, Legion playing so wide, and it's forcing 1SBS to kind of do the same thing. And there's just nothing in hard cap for them at this time. That will be a 4-1 cap lead for Legion. 1 SPS starting to contest back right away. They might have got a spawn wave in at a garrison at somewhere, possibly the south. I think at least this time 1 SPS was maybe a little bit more ready to, I guess, you know, once they did lose orchards, they were more ready. More SLs were probably alive to, you know, replace their OPs. And that's probably why you kind of still see some 1 SPS guys around the hard cap and even like around Sumer. But looks like we do have a tank fight here. 76. Think duking it out with a Tiger tank. Yes, he is. Either of these guys see each other at this current time. But it's very interesting. Is this 2 Tiger tanks right here? It is. It's very interesting how 1 SPS is playing this with these 2 Tigers, because this is obviously not the 5th and final point for them to defend on. It's just interesting how they weren't really around orchards at all to support infantry. Might be able to see this tank fight here in just a second. I think the 1 SPS tanks are starting to back off a little bit. This tank is just barely missing. You can see Krieg trying to get the reps in. I can't tell if he's penning him or if he's maybe just barely missing him. The Legion tank definitely sees him, but I think it's just maybe the TC can see him better than the actual gunner, and the gunner kind of maybe has to slightly lob the shells. It's kind of like that fine line that, you know, you as a tanker kind of see. Well, let's see if Dunny here can get a satchel onto this Tiger tank. This Tiger smartly backing up, but Dunny will hop onto it. And will get a satchel down onto the Tiger. It's gonna be very devastating if this Tiger does blow up to the satchel, and so far no one has hopped out. And unfortunately, I think this Tiger will go down here. Or 1 SPS taking Dunny out in the process, but Dunny will get that secured kill onto that Tiger tank. See if Steve can maybe get some rockets, if he can maybe frag out here. We'll get one. We'll get a second. Cap progress has started on 4th point. Legion kind of in very, very good control of their 5th and final point. Huge already splashed, and that's one of the unfortunate things of Les Isles, and kind of every single midpoint or 5th and final point is the allied armor can, or allied arty can basically reach the hard cap of honestly any of these points, so it's gonna be very tough for 1 SPS here on defense at Les Isles. Huge spawn wave onto the garrison, and this is where arty players Love to feast. It's when a giant spawn wave like this does happen. Oh, huge arty splash onto the garrison spawn wave. Oh, and a rocket snipe from somebody. Don't know who that was. I think that was Goat Piss. And a flamethrower. Don't know if that was Schmidt or that's Seba. Trying to keep Legion at bay. Famous Canadian as a medic. We got some medic action here. I wonder if this medic is about to frag out. Oh, huge spawn wave again. Gets taken out by artillery. Not sure who is on artillery for Legion. It is Perseus. As you can kind of see, 1SBS. Oh my gosh, this camera. 1SBS, this heavy tank is not having a good time. Basically forcing this tank to retreat to the bottom HQ. Oh, and what a rocket snipe there from Go Piss to take out that Puma. Already still slamming that garrison, and it's I feel like, yeah, big not a big spawn wave, but you know, got an SL. Maybe you can put that as OP. Caparzo trying to find that garrison. Looks like Legion is going to try to end this thing rather quickly. Oh, and Padre looks away at the wrong time, but then Caparzo gets taken down by Trabi or Trabi. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. And this is, I think, one thing that do have to fix about the artillery is I don't think you should really be able to farm their last point like this. I think basically up until kind of where D squad is at is kind of like the farthest on every single map, but you know, getting it into their hard cap, I think it probably needs some adjusting, or just give us motor teams. I think that would work out a little bit better. But again, another huge arty kill. Oh, and people just spawning on OPs now, getting farmed from arty. This is so brutal if you were 1SBS. Kind of completely outflanking them now. The Legion is starting to flip the cap now towards their favor. Lots of 1SPS in the south. Very surprised. I think one thing that 1SPS has been lacking is MGs. You do see a few from like Fred and Sims there on your left, but you know, I just quite haven't heard them, you know, suppress. And I think that's, you know, one big thing that, you know, in comp, that's what you really want is, you know, that suppression effect from your MGs. I think a bombing run is coming out here from 1SBS. Gonna come onto the hard cap, but I don't think it's really gonna net any kills. I think it's just gonna get Endarkment, the poor sniper. An Angry Devil will take out that garrison, and it's now what can one SBS do here in the next, you know, a minute and 40 seconds if they can maybe possibly get a defend. Probably gonna have to send this Tiger into the hard cap. And I'm very surprised. Obviously, we're not seeing, you know, one SBS's resources. I'm just surprised that they didn't try anything with an airhead, especially for Sumer, because I feel like that would have thrown Legion a little bit off, you know, a tad bit. It looks like a 76 is probably going to try to end this Tiger's parade. Your 1 SBS, you have to start getting some ATs. Looks like the 76 does see this Tiger tank. Players outgoing. Tiger tank does take a shot from the 76. One SBS actually starting to defend a little bit. And it's everybody in the south. 76 is starting to play a little bit more aggressive to try to finish off this Tiger tank. Does get the trade. Oh, this could be, he could trade off the 76. Think he hit tracks, or maybe I think he might have hit turret. And the Tiger will actually take out the 76. Huge play there from 1 SBS, but I think it might be a little bit too late. His Legion is still in full control of this cap. And I think it's going to end in a 5-0 here in just over 45 minutes. And there's some defense. Hold up. I think that's all, everybody. Actually, where is this defense? Oh, my God, everyone's coming from back here. Rock's just going out. That's a huge tank kill from 1 SBS. A little bit shocked that, you know, 76 did have the advantage. Just, I think the driver and the TC got maybe a little bit confused with one another. Down goes that Tiger now, finally, for Legion. But, you know, I think they just got maybe a little bit miscommunicated there. And, you know... And I'm losing frames. Oh my God. And we're back. Maybe the 76 didn't have a TC. I just saw Beck just run around. 1 SBS is just... I'm just not sure how Legion's not capping this. Are they not in hard cap? No, they do have a bunch of guys in hard cap. They're in the HQ. What is going on? Oh. They're just spawn killing them at the HQ. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's no bueno. That's no fun. Precision strike at Les Isles. Actually, not sure what actually blew up back here. Oh, looks like it was the garrison back here. I think that's probably going to do it now, and this will end in a 5-0, just under 45 minutes now. And that will do it for this one. It's going to give my accommodation, I guess, to Mahojo, the commander for Legion, because he's almost level 500. Got to get him there a little bit quicker. But that's going to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen, for this one. Thank you all for coming out. I will be streaming the Division 2 final with Caparzo later on tonight, so be on the lookout for that one. So But until that match happens, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.